Hi everyone. We're going to wait a few minutes before we get started. Hi, so we're going to get started. I'm Derica. I'm a realtor right here in Georgia. If you're not in Georgia, um, I can help you with an agent wherever you're at. But we're going to get started about this session is about the selling process. So we're going to go over what we learned about the buying process because, of course, the selling process goes along with the buying process. You need someone to sell for someone to buy. So we're going to just go over some things as far as um, what we went over for as the buyer. Um, of course, before a buyer could come and put an offer in on the sell side, they have to get pre-approved with a lender, or they could pay cash. It doesn't. You don't have to um, have a lender, but pre-approval is definitely something before you even put an offer in on the sell side. Um, when you looking to buy, you don't go out and searching houses and those things there. We on the buy side, you're gonna put your offer in. The seller is gonna be there to say yes or no if they're gonna accept your offer. So those those kind of things goes along with the sell side. Also, when you put the offer in, the seller say yes about the offer. We're gonna they're gonna put some money up. Again, that's the earnest money to let the seller know that you got in good faith that you are willing to buy this house. So that comes in. It all depends on what your terms that you want to up that earnest money to. On the buy side again, you're gonna have an inspection. The inspector gonna come out, let you know what's going on with the house. If the house have some kind of issues that you need to address with the seller, so we're gonna have the inspection. The seller will, if something is going on the buy side as far as the inspection, that's when your agent gonna go back and talk to the listing agent and let them know, hey, this is what we found was wrong, and start negotiation with the sell. Also, on the buy side, they're gonna have the appraisal. We're gonna have to on the buy side, the lender gonna make sure that the house appraised for what it is selling for. If the house is at 500,000 and it appraised at 480, that's what the lender is going to pay, 480. They're not paying more. You can pay more, you could come out of your savings or whatever money that you have to make that difference up. So that's again, that's negotiated as well. After all that is done, we go in, everything is finalized, and we close. That's the buy side. So we discussed the buy side last week. So we're going to discuss the on the sell side this week. So on the sell side, I would definitely say um, when you ready to sell, I need you when you ready to sell, you have to really be ready for to sell. You need to ask yourself some questions. How long we expect this to be? Really be ready for to sell. You need to ask yourself some questions. How long we expect this to be? Uh, Definitely do some research in your neighborhood to say if you are ready to get the money. Because sometimes you could say that you want 600,000 for your house. However, you can only get 575 for your house. So you want to make sure that you do some research and don't let someone come to you and say, "Oh, I could definitely get you 625 for your house." And you did your own research knowing that the last house in your area, in your neighborhood, and approximately a mile away from your house that's comparable to your house sold for 575. So definitely do your research on that before you talk to an agent, before you talk to anyone. Make sure you do your own research. You want to, once uh, you and your significant other, or if it's just you, when you ready to sell, talk to an agent. An agent have more intel on what's going on in your area. So as I say, this is the selling process. And if you're here in Georgia, please reach out. If you have any questions, you're ready to sell, I'm here to help. And if you're not here in Georgia, I can definitely help you with an agent in your area. So this course is going to be about, we're going to have the fundamentals about the sales side, understanding the key terms, exploring different types of real estate, and learning about the professional industry. Um, so again, when we're talking about selling, we want to know the comps in our area. And I definitely tell people to, you know, do their research. That's even the agent that you are dealing with, because you don't want someone to tell you, "Oh yes, we could definitely get you 625 for your house, and your house could only go for 575," and now you're upset and you have expectations for that 625. That's a big. That's a 50 grand difference. So you want to make sure that you are in with a comparable agent who is knowledgeable about your area and about what's going on. So definitely do research for yourself, for your knowledge. So you don't want to have to just um, wait on someone to try to feed you any BS. So once you ready to sell and you talking with an agent, your agent will give you numbers like how many days your house will be on the market, and the pricing is a strategy. Is not something that um, that's set in stone. That's how much you're gonna get for your house, because we are looking at different factors on these houses. It may be comparable, and we all say, "Oh, my house is better." Yes, but the buyer and the market is going to dictate to you and your agent what is better and what's best. It's not that the agents or anybody is just making up these numbers. Now, they have some agents who will make up some numbers. So, like I said, definitely do your research on who you're going to be spending your time with and trying to get you a house. So, um, the numbers definitely is important. How many days you're going to be on the market? What you need to do to get this house sold at a faster pace. Um, in different areas, there is a buyer's market. Different areas is a seller's market. So that's what you will definitely need to let your agent. Your agent will definitely let you know if you're in a buyer's market now, or if you're in a seller's market. So that's one thing that you will definitely need to ask the agent what market I'm in, or is it an even market? Is it buyer seller? Is just an even market? So find out what market you're in when you're ready to sell or buy. Either way, you want to know that kind of information because you that will be leveraged to you. If you're in the seller's market, you have the upper hand in the transaction. If it's the buyer's market, then you have the upper hand as a buyer. So, knowing the market is very important when you're trying to sell your house. When you're selling your house, you want to make sure it's in good condition. One thing, as take yourself as a buyer. When you go out looking at these houses, before you even look at these houses, the picture sells you to come there to want to look more deeply into that house. So when you selling your house, you definitely want to make it picture perfect. As when you the pictures hit the MLS and these other sites. So you want to know how you want to know how to stage your house. Okay, I'm moving way too fast. Let's bring this back. So when you're deciding to sell, you want to assess your finances and see how much you would make out of this transaction. You could say you're selling your house for 500,000, and you want to, but you're moving for whatever reason you're moving, and you need to purchase another home. And if you still owe, let's just say 225 on that house. So we know out of that 500,000, we're taking 225 off of that. So with that 225 being off, so that leaves you some money. Now you have to realize that you have to pay commission. Um, Commission is negotiable. That's up to the agent and you. So definitely understand that that's a negotiable too. But that's just for number's sake, we're gonna say is at a 4% uh, from of the sale price that that the agent is charging you off a $500,000 house. So with that being said, you already know you have to pay the 225, which you still remain that's remaining on that loan, and then you also have to pay that commission as well. So out of that 500,000, you already know you at about 275 because you have to pay 225 on the remaining balance, and then you have to calculate your commission. So understand where you're at financially when you're ready to sell. So that's why I say do your research on so you could have a realistic expectation on when it's time for you to sell. Because I don't want you to get out there if you do it yourself, if you're trying to sell the home yourself or you're selling it through an agent. Know the financial side, how much it you will make off this sale, because you have to realize that you also have to pay the attorney for your side of the for the transaction. You may have to still pay your property taxes. You may be in an HOA, you have to pay that fee. So you need to assess your financial situation when you're ready to sell. All that plays a key in that. Because if you owe the HOA will not give you a letter of clearance so you could sell that house. They it Some are just difficult, as we have seen here on social media, but all HOAs are not like that. But you still have to pay that HOA fee and other fees that may be on your house. Let's just say you got some work done on your house, but that contractor was shady and you did not pay them the rest of their money. You don't know that they put a lien on your house because they didn't receive the rest of their money. That will come up in that transaction. So definitely, again, do your research on what is going on for your house. um, the agent's not gonna know this. This is your job to know what's going on with your investment. Now, remember when we talked last week when I said when you're buying a home, it's an investment. So always look at this as an investment. Do not take your eye off the ball because it's I don't care if you're here 25 years, it's still an investment because if you was there 25 years, let's just say you bought the house at for 125,000. Now it is worth about 500,000. That is a good investment. Um, hopefully it's more, but it have a lot of factors on how your value and equity goes up in your house. So again, it's an investment. So definitely take care of your investment. Know who have a lien on your house, who have any stake in that house, because they have sometimes people will get a divorce and they think that's it, but no, they still have this house together, and that other person may have to sign off on the deal and get money as well. So this is your knowledge that you need to know about as far as selling your home. um, when you're selling a home. So we're definitely looking at our numbers, how many days you need to be going to be on a market before you could get a deal, and we're going to talk about how we could make that the days shorter rather than the average. So when as an agent, what we're looking at is the average days. Not to say everybody house gonna be on the market for, let's just say, 45 days. It's that's the average. That's what we're looking at, the average. Your house may not be the average. Your house may be worse than the average. So we definitely need to pay attention and listen to when your agent is giving you some directive. So, how you need to position your house. Um, Determine what's the right time to sell your house, because people would put their house on the market in the middle of the holiday season. Not to say people are not looking during the holiday season. It's just kind of difficult for that traction to get the buyers that you're looking for during the holiday season. People is wrapped up in trying to basically buy presents, spend time with loved ones. They might have trips planned. So you want to know when is the right time for you to sell your house. The spring market and the summer market is usually the hot markets, um, but you it's different in each location. I want to make sure I let you know that it differs in each location. So when you talk to your agent will let you know, oh, this is a good market, good time, and you want them to show the numbers on why it's a good time as well, because they have some agent who will say, oh yeah, it's a good time, knowing it's not a good time. They just want your business, and your business is very important, and understand this is about you. It's not about your agent, about nothing else but you and what your expectations, and the right agent will set the right expectations for this whole transaction. Like I say, as in a buyer situation, it's not going to be a smooth transaction as you would like it to be. Now, we try to make it as smooth as possible, but we are all human beings and things happen. So definitely understand when is a good time to put your house on a market, and when will you get um, they will have the most buyers in a market so your house could be seen. So we definitely want to make sure we have those things in place when it's time for us to sell. Now, when you're ready to sell, you have to now think about, should I hire an agent, or should I just do this myself? So they have some pros and cons in um, doing it yourself. One is the pros that a lot of for sale by owners think about off top. They don't have to pay. their full commission. So they opt out on, no, I don't need an agent. I could do this myself. That is the pro for a for sale by owner. The con is all the phone calls that they will receive and the negotiation, then people taking advantage of them. Um, but as the pro goes, is you could delegate this whole situation yourself. You are able to take care of this whole transaction and you making things move along as many for sale by owners think they're making it go. Then at the last minute, they pull, the other people pull away and they were like, wait, don't I get the earnest money? Well, in the contract, it says one thing, but did you verify that the earnest money got to the attorney that it's supposed to go to? So they may say, I'm going to give the earnest money within 3 business days. Okay, that sounds solid. We could definitely do that. 3 business days came and gone. You don't know if that earnest money came in because you never contact the attorney. So if you're gonna do it for sale by owner, make sure when you read that contract and they say the earnest money gonna be in within 3 business days, definitely follow up on that. So that's a con, as being a for sale by owner because we don't for sale by owners don't think about, oh, I have to contact the attorney to make sure that they gave up the earnest money and all the other legalities. Another con is for sale by owner is that they don't follow up with the lender to make sure that that's a strong buyer. That buyer is really ready to execute on this property. So that's a con that for sale by owners really do not pay attention to. But that's how it goes with for sale by owners, and a lot of them do not pay attention to that as far as, oh, I need to follow up with that lender. But they have, then it would, another con would be for sale by owner. Oh, the buyer comes out and they submit a letter from a lender, not the lender that's on that contract. They submit another lender saying, oh, they're not approved for this. They cannot go forward with this house. So now the for sale by owner is just like, oh, they not approved now. I thought they was approved. They may be approved, but not with the lender that the agent have given you. It might be it's somebody else on that. If it's someone, it's a different lender on there, and they give you a letter from a different lender, and now you just got con out of wasting your time and taking your house off the market because you thinking you have a solid buyer because everything seemed like it's gone like it's supposed to be gone. But with an agent would have contact that lender to make sure this is a solid buyer. Your agent would have made sure that the earnest money got to the place where it's supposed to be at the right time it's supposed to be. It's gonna follow up with everything that goes on. It's very tedious, and like I was telling you on about the buyers, the devil's in the details, and that's what it is. The devil is definitely in the details in this whole transaction, on the sell side and on the buy side. So you definitely have to be very knowledgeable on what's going on, and definitely reach out to someone to to understand these contracts. And another con on the for sale by owner side would be the networking. As an agent, I am connected to a host of agents, a host of agents that could help bring a buyer to your house. So, they have for sale by owners, they may put their house, let's just say, um, the forbidden word in my industry, Zillow. So they put it on Zillow, and they were looking at, oh, they start looking at the analyticals on there. Oh, we got all these views, and all those views is mostly agents or investors who is gonna undercut you. So you need to understand that part. Just because somebody's looking at it, that don't mean, and nobody put, oh, I have this person, I have that person say they're gonna come, and nobody ever put an offer on there. And it's basically they are wasting your time on your um your time about your property, and you're taking your property on and off. So time is being wasted. So you definitely don't want to waste your time on a lot of this riffraff. And you may have your house on Zillow for, let's just say, for 65 days. And what the market is telling a realtor and investors, that your house is supposed to be on the market for no more than 35 days. Now you're trying to figure out why your house is on a market. You don't even know that your house is supposed to be on the market for 35 days because you did not do your proper research. You just like, oh, I'm gonna sell this myself. I could do what an agent can do. That's just like me saying I could go in there and give you a root canal as a dentist. I don't know what a dentist does. I'm not trying to do a root canal because I don't want to look in no one's mouth. I'm just gonna say that. The phone calls that you definitely need to make to get people to see your house. It's a lot that goes into this, but we want to make sure that we do our proper research again. Research. Because if you want a successful sale, you want to definitely do research. And the statistics says that about um, 13% of for sale by owners sold their houses themselves within 2024, and they got significant less. Let's just say that an agent got 420,000 for the house, and a for sale by owner got 380,000 for the house. So you see the difference that you're leaving on the table. It definitely is worth for someone who is, this is their career, this is their passion, this is their job, to be knowledgeable about the industry. So that's something you definitely want to do. So definitely have your research done, set go in with good expectations, and know your timing on when you want this whole thing to go, and the market that you want to be in a good time for to sell the house. um like I said, the spring and the summer seasons is usually a hot market. I know here in Georgia it's usually a hot market. uh Please reach out if you want to know more about somewhere else in the United States. But here in Georgia, that's where I'm located. You can always hit me up in my DM or the link in the bio. So we're going to go to preparing our house um, to get ready to sell, to get on the market. We definitely want to declutter that house. Please declutter the house, because nobody want to come in your house and have to step over something. And because when people come in houses, they are looking like, oh, can I put my furniture here? And when stuff is cluttered up, a lot of people don't see the potential. It could be a huge room, and they could easily put the big sectional in that living space. But if your house is so cluttered, nobody is looking at that. They're just looking at all this clutter. Also, please make sure your house smells good. If you have pets, please clean up. That definitely deters a lot of buyers from your house because of the smell. Some smells is so awful. If you smoke, please clean up the house. And you've been staying in that house for over 5 years, and you smoked all those 5 years, trust and believe me, it's in your walls, it's in your floors, it's in your furniture, it's even on you. It's everywhere in that house. Where you smoke at, tobacco leaves stains in your house. So you definitely want to make sure that is one of your preparations when you're decluttering your house. I would definitely say before you do any repairs or any renovations to this house, please speak with an agent. Please speak with someone who is knowledgeable about the market, because I would hate for you to put a lot of money into a particular area and it did not bring you any value. Like they may have someone um who's looking to sell their house and they have a crack in the driveway. You fix that crack and that crack costs you about $15,000. That's not going to add no value to your house. Like, well, I just paid. Yes, you just wasted $15,000 on that crack in the driveway. That is not gonna make you any money. So when you want to put money into your house and make it look like something, definitely reach out to a professional who could definitely advise you and give you the best tips to put the money into your house. Because I would hate for you to put money into your house and you're not getting that value back. So you want to definitely speak with someone who's going to tell you what you need to put in. And I would just give you this tip here is the owner suite is one of the key areas you could put, invest your money into and in your kitchen. Those two is definitely, but it is definitely subject to for an agent to walk through your house to see what is going on and where you need to put your money at. So you definitely want to, before you even put a dollar into your house, talk to someone who definitely knows, because you would hate to say you put $50,000 into your house and you're not getting a return on that $50,000. So we definitely want to make sure we are all in a in a on the same wavelength on where you're getting your value from. So definitely make sure that goes on. And please, if you do try to be like HGTV, trust me, it's gonna come in when the inspection happens. Because if you're not licensed to do electrical, please don't do the electrical. Get someone professional to do the electrical, because that will come back in an inspection report. And you definitely want to. That's that's something you don't. That's something you didn't even have to do. So go out, find a professional electrician who could do the electrical inside the house, because that comes up on the inspection report. Um, when you also um, getting your house ready, you have to know, again, like I said, you want to have it picture perfect. Picture perfect when people coming out to see the house. And if you're still living in the house, I know how it could be sometimes be difficult, especially if you have kids in that house and you always have to have it um, clean, and it's kind of hard and it's tedious for you to keep that done. But make it a family group project and make it fun for the kids as well. Even though our lives still gonna be going on through this whole ordeal, because you need to know that as well. People gonna be coming in your house, out your house, in your house, but that's that's later. We're gonna talk about that as well. But if you did sign up for this course, you got some course material. And one of the things I did give is like the an overview on the home selling process. Is basically getting your house ready. Um, you set the price for your house. When you set that price for your house, again, we have did research. You and your agent did research on the house. How many days it need to be on the market? What condition it need to be to max to get the most value out your house? Now, they do have some people who will say, oh, I just want to sell as is. I don't want to put no money into this house. That's fine. Do not look for the high value if you want to go as is, because nobody want to come into a house. Let's just say we're selling, our house could be worth $550,000, but but we want to go as is. Nobody gonna give you that 550,000. If it's as is, more than likely your house may be selling for 425, no more than 435. Be like, well, my house, yes, your house can get that much, but you need to fix this house up. I don't want to walk into a house after paying $500,000 and have to do some work to the house. So make sure you have the right expectations in this ordeal. And they have some people will overprice their house. Say the market is saying your house is worth 550 and you want to put it on a market for 575, 585. Like, oh, somebody gonna buy it. Would you buy your house? So you go get a loan and go buy a house for 575 and it's only worth 550. So now you're underwater. So you gotta wait for your house to appreciate more over the years. Do that sound reasonable for you? For you to do. So you have to ask yourself these questions. And I know people still want to live in COVID land when the houses were selling above and just flying. But they have people right now is in very regrettable situations that they wish they did not do that. So as a seller, you want to make sure that you set yourself with real expectations, not false expectations, real expectations. So we want to make sure our house is decluttered and clean, and you want to make sure the toilet flush on the first floor, and not just like, oh, I gotta shake the handle a few times. Mm. That's added cost that buyer's gonna walk in and it's like, okay, I'll have to do a toilet. I'm gonna have to do this. By the time negotiation come, they put all that on the list and gonna come undercut you. And you have to move to your next house and you need a certain amount to get to that next house. So you want to make sure that your expectations is realistic and you could get to that next house that you're looking to get into. So you're definitely gonna discuss the difference between the list price and the sale price. So there's two different things when you so we selling the house at, let's say, 550 and somebody buy it at 565. So we the list price was 550 and somebody bought it at 565. So it was an increase of 10 grand. And we're not talking about closing costs at this time. We're not even discussing that you even paid closing costs because the house was great. It was on the market. It was how it's supposed to be. And the buyer didn't ask for closing costs, and neither did you offer closing costs. Of course, that closing cost is always a negotiation tool, and we're going to get to that later. So set set a appropriate. Make sure your house is on the market at the right time, at the right price. And a lot of times, it's good to set your house a little below so you could attract more, and more could help bring up the price to where you at. It's not always that's the case, but that is a little leverage that you could play with. um, and again, you know your finances better than the agent know your finances. So definitely discuss with your agent the different ways that they could help you. I personally structure all mines. It's tailored to my client and what my client is looking for. It's not a across the board kind of thing. It's definitely what I do with my sellers is always tailored to what their needs are, never my needs. My needs don't come into play in a transaction at all. It's all about helping my client out on what they need. Um, so um, now we're gonna get to showing the home after we declutter and we got the house and show ready. So again, we're gonna have our CMAs, our comparative market analysis. That's definitely telling you what other houses that's comparable to your house is selling for. We're gonna go back maybe 3 to 6 months to get a big picture of how the market is going. So you definitely want to look at that as well. So we're gonna definitely, if we price it correctly and attract the right buyers, like I just said, if we put the house on the market and it's again, if it's going for 550 and we put it on the market, let's just say at 525. Oh, we're going to attract more people to the house because they may have someone who's like, oh, they're on a search and not even looking at nothing 550. They max is at 525, and yet we set our house at 525. So that buyer who wasn't even looking at a 550 house is now seeing your house. Not to say that they cannot afford that 550, they just want to stay in a certain budget and they don't mind going over that if they see something. But if we already price it at something over what they're not even want to see your house. So we definitely want to price it correctly and we want to price it where we attract the maximum of buyers for your particular house. So understand this, even if you're for sale by owner, you want to understand that you want to price the house where you attract the most buyers. When you have a less if you have not that many buyers in that pool, you really going they gonna really try to negotiate down. So you want to attract the people a little less, but who can come up. So understand that as well. But if you do put your house on the market for 525 and you wind up you listed at 525 and you get it sold, let's just say at 545, but you was expecting at 550. Um, you have to then ask yourself, can you afford not to get that additional $5,000? Again, this goes back to what your expectation is and your financial status is. So you definitely want to make sure your financial status in this whole that's forefront on your mind and you need to know. And you want to also you also want to make sure you communicate with your agent all the time. Again, like I said, in the buyer's side, communication is key. Communication is key as well on this side as well. So you definitely want to make sure that communication. I will ask my client how often do they would like to get updates and communicate. And we'll discuss that and we'll discuss how they like to be communicated with. And I don't care if it's text message, email, phone calls, we discuss those things. So when you're working with an agent, discuss how you want to be communicated. You don't want just like, oh, everything, they haven't called me, so everything must be good. That's not true. That's not true at all. So you definitely want to keep that communication open and available to discuss whatever may be going on with your agent. So it's time to show your house. Again, like I said, when you have kids, I know it could be difficult to see the house and show ready all the time. So you're working with an agent, your agent could put in the MLS that please give us our notice prior to showing the house. So that should give you some time to help you get the house ready for, or you could, if you, again, you're working with an agent, you could say, no, today is not a good day for to show the house. Um, and working with an agent, most agents, not all, but most agents have this super, and the super is you Bluetooth to that super to get the key out of it, and that's just keep us agents knowing who going in and out your house for safety reasons. That's another con for sale by owner. They don't know who's coming in and out their house. They they will ask, well, can you send me your license? I could send you my license, but you just still don't know who I'm bringing in and out that the house. So is certain things. Uh, you open your door, anything can happen. Even as an agent, when we do open houses, it's things can happen, but you put as much safety up as possible. But that's the con for sale by owner as well as people coming in your house, out your house. You don't know who's coming in. You entertaining these people. You never know if there's just someone who's um, trying to steal from you or something like that. Hoping that's not happening to anyone. I'm because I have came across houses that was people were squatting in there in that house, and that wasn't fun for me nor my buyer. So safety is very very important in this ordeal. So when working with the agents, like I say, many agents have a super. We definitely Bluetooth to that. We have our contact information linked to that super. So if they don't, and once you do that, do the showing, automatic email will come for feedback. And if that agent do not say anything in the feedback, I could get on the phone, look at who came through the house, how do they like the house. I could follow up with them on that. I could see what did they clients say, how did they like it, what did not show well. You need to know all these things, and you definitely need your agent needs to communicate that back to you. So make sure that that agent is have something in place for safety for you and for them, and how can they communicate back to you the information that's going on, people coming in and out your house. So you don't want just people coming in and out and nobody saying nothing. They have something to say. Like I discussed last week about the buyers. We're not gonna discuss anything inside the house. We're gonna wait till we go on the street, by our cars, or wherever we go to discuss these houses. We have something to say. It's not that, oh, they don't have nothing to say, they like it. We would love to have that. That would be great. But that's not always true. So we want to know what's the feedback when we people viewing your house and making sure that everything is going smoothly. So when again when we're showing the house, we want to make sure it's decluttered, it's picture perfect for to show when agent market your house. And this is a con for sale by owner. They don't market the house like they're supposed to. As me as a seller agent, I definitely call, make a lot of phone calls um, to different prospects on the MLS. I can reverse prospect. I see agents who have their clients on a drip and my house is fitting that criteria. So I could reach out to that agent. I could email that agent. I could call that agent and say, hey, I see that you have a client. My house fit their profile, that their criteria. Hey, would you like to go and show the house? Whatever it may be. But I can do that because, again, as an agent, we have a network of people and we have the tools available for us to make that possible. And we also not just giving calls, we we door knock. I would say not gonna say we. I I door knock. Let's say we doing an open house. For sale by owner could host an open house as well. That's definitely likely. But when you market your open house, you get better traction. And again, I will get more traction than for sale by owner because I have agents that I can reach out to say, hey, I'm doing an open house. Please bring your buyers by. As a for sale by owner, you don't know who's the buyer's pool. So again, that's a con um, as far as that goes. But you could definitely host an open house. It's not a problem of you hosting that open house, but you have to market. When you're marketing that house is not just putting it on the MLS and think it's going to sell. That's not true. You marketing your house. You are hosting open houses for that house. You are doing different things. You're making phone calls. You're door knocking. You are out there spreading the word. You have not just you talking about your house. You're having other agents speak about the house and say, "Oh, I have this um, agent in my office who has such and such." Because agents know other agents in different markets and different areas, and like, "Oh, I have someone flying into town such and such next week, and they may be interested in that house." But as a for sale by owner, you don't have that kind of leverage. So I'm just want you to be aware of your pros and cons as a for sale by owner. Again, like I say, you could not pay the commission and sell it yourself, but um, it's the risk that you will have that you want to take. Take it. I'm not gonna say don't take it. That's where your finances are at. But again, I'm not a dentist. I'm not gonna try to do a root canal for you. Let's just say that. But again, we're gonna promote that house. As an agent, we're promoting that house. We want to make sure that we get the right buyer in for our client with the open house, we will have people to sign something. And when you go to an open house and the agent asks you to sign, and if you're working with an agent, please put your agent information because we don't want to talk to you to and because you're gonna ultimately say, oh, you're gonna have to call my agent. So please just put your agent's information down. That will definitely be helpful as well. If you don't have an agent at the time, that's um, that's okay as well. Put your name and information down. We will follow up with you to see if we could help you move forward with this particular property to see where you're at. Because they have people who will come out just to see the house and that's all they're doing. They're just trying. They're being nosy. We have some nosy neighbors, which that's fine because sometimes it's our neighbors who find someone to buy the house because they may know someone who is looking to be in our neighborhood. So definitely have that conversation with your neighbors, and that's what the open house would definitely do. And another reason we would knock on doors to let the neighbors know that hey, we having an open house such and such day. It's because we may have an open house and that street get flooded with cars and people are like, wait, what's going on? We want the neighbors to know. We want to be respectful for everyone. It is definitely a respect thing to make sure our neighbor is aware of what's going on as if you would like to have an open house. So that's something else that you could talk to your agent about. If you want to have an open house, that is great. If you don't, that is great as well. You just need to know um, how that will affect the sale of your house. So you definitely want to keep that in mind when we another thing, we're on social media. We definitely market your house on social media, and there's different tools that we use to get your house out there. So make sure you discuss that with your agent on how they plan on marketing your house. It's a lot of things that we as agents have tools for to market your house. It's not just putting it, taking some beautiful pictures and putting on MLS. Now they do have some agents who may do that. Um, I don't know if you really want to work that kind of agent, but that's everybody got their own preference. But to maximize the sale of your house is definitely to get your house out there to a wide range of people. So we're not just looking for in that particular area when we selling that house. We want a wide range of people because we have had people coming from overseas to come into the United States buying houses for them and their families to live. So as an agent, me, I'm with Keller Williams. We are international. So we have the KW MLS system, and it reaches, it goes to Belize, to Dominican Republic. It goes to different host of areas that may people who won't come here to Georgia. So just remember that that your agent have those tools to get your house out there and market your house correctly. So let's so again we're gonna make sure our agent told us about our the CMA with competitive market analysis, how much the house should go for, and don't make sure when your agent telling you, let's say your house can range from 525 to 565. I know that's a good gap, but it could range in between that. You don't want someone to say, "Oh yes, I could definitely get you 550." That's not a certain thing because the market is the one that's going to determine, and that buyer is going to determine on what they're going to pay you. So if someone say, "Oh yeah," and if they get you that 550, yes, that's a great thing. I say kudos to them. But it's a range of is a lot of different factors that plays a part in that bottom line on your sold price. Again, we have a list price and a sold price. So we want to make sure what the difference is. So make sure the agent is giving you a range and not just a definite number. Oh, we're gonna definitely get you that, unless they have that buyer ready to sign that paper tomorrow and they give you that price. Other than that, it's a range because the market definitely dictate on how much. So make sure you definitely have that conversation with your agent. You will definitely want to make sure you're talking to your agent about how they're gonna market your house. What are they plan on doing to get your house sold? And I know I hear a lot of people will say, "Well, every agent say they're gonna do that." If that's your sentiment on that one, um, have your agent show you and keep you updated and to see what's going on. If you don't feel good about that person, that's fine. That's just like talking to uh, attorney. The attorney you feel like it's just like, is there something about that attorney? Move on to the next person. I definitely say move on to the next person. If you feel that person do not have your best interest in hand, definitely talk to, I will say three, because you start talking to more, it things gonna start to sound the same. So three agents, definitely have a conversation with three of them. You may, by the time the second one comes, you may already have your decision made because the first two wasn't nothing, and the third one may come in, knock it out the park. You already had your mindset that you might pick that third one. Make sure, um, excuse me, they have me doing this thing here. Okay. But make sure, yes, on to the next one. We're gonna definitely talk to some different agents to make sure your interest again is in the forefront of all this. Nobody else. So we gotta make sure our house is considered to be in a and to be show ready. Again, we want to declutter the house. We're gonna make sure that the aesthetics of the house is nice. We have to remember that the curb appeal is definitely important because when I'm walking up to the house, I'm looking at everything outside the house because as a buyer, I'm looking at, do I have to put more money into this house to make the curb appeal attractive to me? So you want to make sure that's attractive to walk up into the house. You don't want have to duck your head under a tree because the limb is um, on a curve or something like that. The curb appeal makes a big statement, and it makes a huge statement. So people would they have some people who will not even go into the house because the curb appeal is not what they was hoping it to be. The picture may have say, yes, this is my house. They come out, they see all this mess in front of the house. They was like, no, I don't want to deal with this. Because they were like, well, we could just get the sellers to, no, I don't want to deal with this. They have turned people around just by the curb appeal. So we definitely want to make sure our curb appeal is what it needs to be as well. So we want to make sure the house is decluttered, it's priced correctly, you know your finances, you know the difference between a list and a sold, and you want to make sure that your agent is marketing your house in the best way possible to get your house sold. So, and we will want to make sure our house is not overpriced. So, if the houses is in the area is on the market for 45 days and your house is sitting on the market for 65 days, something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. And more than likely, it's the price. Price is a big hinder for people to move forward with their house. So you'll have to start decreasing and decreasing. And you've been on the market so long, people won't come to you and start undercutting what you're looking for. Let's say you set that house at 575. You had no problem of taking 550, but you set it on the market for so long for 575. Nobody want to pay you that 550 now. Now they don't want to pay you no more than 535. And now you're frustrated because you want to think you're gonna get more out of the market that you couldn't get. You overstretched, overextended your hand. So we want to make sure that your house is priced correctly, it is show ready, and we ready to go. So do again, make sure you do your research. You could talk to your neighbors on what's being sold, because we all have that neighbor in a neighborhood who know everything that's going on. Everything that's going on, they know who sold this and sold that. Even so, when you're for sale by owner, you could say, I could tell you I sold my house at 565, knowing I only received 525. But that's not going to show up in my report as an agent because it's not any data that we collected. And that's just saying that's just a word of mouth. I need that paper trail. That paper needs to say, yes, my my neighbor sold their house at 565. But you have to remember the reports that I look at, the appraiser is paying attention to those same reports and trying to see um, how can we make this a 565 house. Um, but everything else is saying things have sold at 535 and they trying to say they sold theirs at 565. You can tell me anything. I'm not sure that is true. So I'm gonna go off the reports that I could pull to and look at the different comps of the houses, and everything is pointing to that 535. You may have had your heart set on that 565, but if it's not in, it have no paper trail for us to verify, that house gonna go at 535. So again, research, research, research. Communication is definitely key as well. So overpricing your house is not going to help you out trying to get your house sold for the most money. What helps your house out to sell for the most money, you want to set it a little below expectations. Um, and then you want to make sure your house is in top condition to get the maximum amount. So if you need some repairs done, definitely talk to your agent, discuss what the repairs that you may need to do because your agent will have more of a better knowledge of what the inspector going to be looking for, what other buyers going to be have their expectations as. So definitely discuss that with your agent as you are going through this process. So please do not overprice your house, because your house gonna sit on the market way longer than it need to, and then people gonna get frustrated and things in that nature. And okay, let me back this up a little bit, because we was talking about as far as how long your house sitting on the market. So they may have someone say, "Oh, your house could be on the market for about 20 days," and you sign a listing contract for, okay, well, since this on for 20 days, it's let's just sign a contract for 25 days, and nobody do nothing for your house, and now your house is expired. Now you're mad at the agent because your house is sitting on the market and now it's expired. But let's regroup and understand what is going on. You will be surprised how the market will shift in the middle of you putting your house on the market. Ask the agent, well, what's going on? Did the market shift? Is something going on in the market? So you could have a better um, be aware of what's going on in that market, because your that market could shift. In just 3 months ago, it was sitting for 25 days. And the day you signed this paperwork, the market was in a shift at that same time, and now it's sitting on the market for 45 days. Now you have taken your house off the market, and now you're trying to sell it for sale by owner because you felt the agent lied to you. That don't mean the agent lied to you. The market shift, and you need to be aware of that. Again, I said in the beginning, we're going to make sure we do our research, and we need to know what's going on in the market. It shifts in between. You could put your house on the market today, and you don't know a shift is going on. So make sure you're aware of that shift that may happen. So if the agent say we could put this house on the market, it should do something within 25 days from the data that agent has collected. That's what it was saying, 25 days. I would definitely say give it a little bit more time, so it could be, so you, again, when you communicate with your agent could communicate that with you to let you know that it has shifted. So it may be a little bit longer for your house to sell. And again, it may be your price. It could be different factors on why your house is still sitting. So communicate big time with your agent. Now, if you are looking for your house to sell for over list price, and the market is not telling you that it's going to sell for over list price, you have to figure out if this is the right time for you to sell your house. You want to figure that out, and it may not hit you until you put your house on the market. So definitely pay attention to that. So once so I'm going to get into for myself. So when we putting the house on the market, you need to know we most most times we have a professional photographer to come out and do your house. We're gonna have it. You want your house staged. You will discuss that with your agent if you want to get it professionally staged with someone else's furniture, or you want to stage it with your own furniture. Now, let's say if your house is vacant, they have virtual staging, like someone come virtually stage your house for you. So you want to make sure that um, all that is in detail when you're talking to your agent about your marketing of your house. So it's like I say, they have a lot of things that goes into this. As far as the marketing goes, it's more than just putting some pictures on an MLS. When you're looking at a 500 and $25,000 house, you want to, yeah, you don't mind it empty, but sometimes people, it's hard for some people to imagine where their furniture could go. They were like, oh, I thought it could be there. Now they have some people who will come out with tape measures. I love that. So they feel, oh, this is my house. Let me measure this, make sure my furniture it could fit in that house. That is great. Everybody don't do that. So that's the great thing of staging your house. Staging your house, virtually staging your house. That definitely helps to get your house sold. So remember, staging your house is very important. So we want to list it on a MLS. Once it hit the MLS, it's gonna populate to every other site there is that sells houses. So um, and we get data from those sites as well as an agent. We have different tools to get that kind of data. Unlike a for sale by owner, if you have your house on Zillow, you're just gonna get that information from Zillow. It's not gonna come from Realtors.com, um, whatever other site they have out there. So you need to know those that data is very important on getting your house. So the MLS is the multiple listing service. That's where agents across the country put their houses on for a, the mass majority of people to get on to see their house. We will usually put our buyers on a campaign drip. What that is the house that you say that you're looking for is when an agent listed that campaign drip, that house will populate onto email for you to see. So we could go out and see it if that's something that you want to go out and see. So that's what the MLS does. The MLS is a lot of it's the majority of the buyers is looking on that because that's where your agents is putting those houses. They're putting houses on the MLS, and the MLS is gonna populate to all the other sites that there is for that particular property. You're welcome. So, like I said, we're gonna do open houses. Open house people usually they set the time themselves. It's either some people will do 1 or 3, 2 to 4. Um, and the thing is, well, for sale by owners, they usually stay there longer. Uh, I have seen for sale by owners do open houses from 1 to 5. You really don't need to be there that long. Excuse me, but some people think that's how long he has to. Because once you say I'm doing an open house, it's gonna be on an MLS. And also, you're marketing your house saying it's between such and such time. And if you do not be there during such and such time, that's when your agent will come out and say, okay, let's just schedule a showing because we was doing we was looking at these other houses during the time that our time did not collaborate between those times. So they have private showings. Again, like I was talking about the super will let us know that we have somebody scheduled to come in after the open house. So we want to make sure that house is still available and show ready for the next um, the next showing. And we will make sure we let our seller know. As an agent, I will make sure I let my seller know that, hey, after the open house, we do have some scheduled appointments to see the house. And it have various reasons why people do not like to come during the open house. They want to be private. They want to have that conversation. They want to take their time. So it's nothing wrong with people coming to your house after the open house. So that so we make sure that the house is still show ready when people come in to see the house once once they come after the open house. So again, when we talk about marketing, we marketing on social media. We got different digital platforms that we could market to. As an agent, we have a host of tools that we can use to get your house out there, unlike an individual who just limited to one platform. We have different platforms that we could get out there. Again, it selling the house is more about word of mouth. And regardless of all this technology that we have, it's still word of mouth saying, yeah, I have a house that's coming on the market for in such and such area and is at such and such price. Another agent will say, oh, I may have a buyer for you. Oh, I know someone who may have a buyer for you. So again, word of mouth, even though it's going to populate on that MLS, word of mouth still gets your house sold more than just social media, the technology that we may have. So we're going to definitely get all that together. And let's go back. So we're going to make sure our house is decluttered. We're going to make sure we have the house smelling good, because they have houses, people were smoking their house for last 10 years. They did nothing but smoke in their house. So you're going to definitely have to do a deep clean. You may have to get it professionally clean, or if you could professionally clean it yourself, that is great. So social media, advertisement, open houses, having flyers out, signs put in front of your door. Now they have some neighborhoods that you cannot use a sign for the to put out there. That's to happen. So we're gonna make sure. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. It's moving. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Um, looking when we're doing this house, they have signs that cannot go into some neighborhoods, and that's okay. Um, they have other ways to market that house without a sign being in your front yard. So we want to make sure that we discuss our what we're looking for and real expectations with our agent. We want to discuss how our is going to market. Discuss the list price and a sold price. We want to discuss how many days on a market. We want to keep updates with our agent. Because like I said before, sometimes the market shift in why we putting the house on the market, and we had no clue on that. The data gonna show your agent that, hey, the market has had a shift in it. So instead of your house being on the market for 25 days, it's now going to be 45 days before you may see anything happening. So you want to know if you're in the buyer's market or if you're in the seller's market. So we want to make sure that those things is going on. So let's just say we got someone to come in and say yes, they like the house, they want to put the house, they like to buy the house. So next thing is that agent gonna reach out, give you a call, the agent a call and say, hey, what your seller is looking for. Um, they have certain things that you have discussed with your agent, and your agent is privileged to let people know. You could give them the privilege to let them know what you are looking for to sell a house. Let's just say my the list price. We want to say 525. My seller is looking for the list price, and we want to close. We want a fast closing. Okay, is that anything else that your seller is looking for? Now you have the option that as the seller, you have the option to let your agent know well, disclose this to them as well. Um, let's say on warranty, if we have a fast closing, that is great. So they will be asking, the agent will be reaching out to your agent, letting them know, asking information, and you could definitely agent know looking for. So that's just to help the other side to write the contract that you as the seller will accept. The agent cannot accept anything. It's your job as the seller to accept. Your agent has to report all the offers to you. So you need to know that your agent is not saying, oh no, I can't show you this. Now, do that happen? I'm not sure. I have never heard of that happening. Would it happen? It could. Anything is possible. But most agents gonna present their seller with the offer, and that offer, your seller could say, yes, no, I'm not gonna even entertain that offer because they are way low and I don't want that. Or they may say, I need your seller say they want a 30-day and somebody may say 45 to 50-day close. You know what your seller going you know what you're gonna say, but the agent still has to present that offer to you. So don't think the agent will just say, oh no, that's not gonna happen. I still have to present that offer to you, knowing you're gonna say no, but it's still legally I have to present that to you. Um, so once we came to someone who wants to buy this house, and we was like, okay, we're gonna agree to this offer. We got the price that we're looking for. We got the timing of closing what we're looking for. So now what's next? That's when we talked about last week as far as the buyer. The buyer agents now gonna start to do to set the inspection off. Again, these are fees that the buyer is paying for. Now, as a seller, you can do that out of pocket yourself. So you will already be aware of what the inspector gonna print out, what the appraisal gonna come up with. So, and I want you to keep this in mind as the appraisal. If you do a pre-appraisal before you list your house, the appraisal may come back a little different than the appraisal once your house is listed, because the appraisal is what they usually do, not always. This just was something they usually do is make sure that they get. So let's say your house listed at 5. If you have enough value in that house to get to that 525. Now let's say if you didn't before you even list your house and your appraisal came in and said, well, you may could get 515, 520 for this house. So you know you're kind of in that ballpark. But again, a pre-appraisal is sometimes worth it, and sometimes so that's but if you want to do an inspection before you sell your house, that is fine as well. So you'll be aware of what the buyer will come back and their agent gonna try to negotiate with you about. As far as I'm not sure why this keep doing this. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not understanding. Okay, but we but the inspection, because once that inspector come back and say, let's just say they always find something. I'm just inspector will always find something because no house is perfect. I don't care if it's just newly constructed. No house is perfect. So you definitely gonna have inspectors come back and say, well, this is wrong, that is wrong, that is wrong. And they're gonna come back and say, well, can you get these things fixed? Or they may say, well, can you contribute to my closing costs? Because we have this wrong, and if you could get this fixed or just contribute to my closing costs, we could definitely fix those things. So you have to definitely remember that the inspection is definitely a negotiation tool. The appraisal is a negotiation tool as well. So that's something is will be negotiated. You may come up with some contingencies um, as far as getting this done before the close of the house. And you definitely want to, as a buyer, you definitely want to have that done before the close of that house, because once the house closed, it's all on the buyer. Um, they have different terms that you and your agent will definitely go over as far as the seller on what is your so let's say we have a 7 day due diligence. And as the seller, you want to, you understand what is the time that they're checking the house out to make sure that it's ready to live in. That's their due diligence. They trying to make sure the roof is fine, the plumbing, the electrical, the foundation. Let's say your house is sitting on a basement. They have holes in the basement walls that's gonna crack and knock the foundation down. That's the time that they doing all this. Say you have a septic tank. They're gonna get some. They may want to get someone out to check your septic tank. They may want a HVAC person to come out to see if this really, because the inspector may say, well, that needs really to be done. They were like, okay, I got these 7 days. They may want to have an HVAC person come to make sure what the inspector say. So doing that due diligence, your agent will let you know what is going on, because the other agent will be communicating back with you, because in that due diligence time, if they don't come back within those 7 days, let's say it's the 8 day, they saying they need all these things done. They're now out there due diligence. You don't have to comply. If they want to say they are no longer interested because you don't want to do that, but now that earnest money in the beginning is now yours. And once your agent has already verified that the attorney is holding that, it may take a while for that money to be released, because the attorney now has to look at the contract to make sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed, every S is swerved. That's what the attorney gonna do before that money is being released. Don't think you just gonna get that money. Oh, they outside they do diligence. They want to terminate on. You're not getting that money that fast. So it will, but it's the frustration that you will now have to put your house back on the market. So you definitely want to pay attention to all those days. Your agent should be communicating with you that you are inside your due diligence time and what date your due diligence ends. And so after the due diligence, now you have the appraisal time. Then you have the financing time. So the appraisal could be 7 days, and it varies from state to state, lender to lender, because the market could be kind of crazy, or it could be kind of slow. You might get the appraisal over the next day. You might have to wait at least 8 days before it is going. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. So when your due diligence is over, now we are going into the appraisal. So that be the appraisal time and then your financing time. That can run hand in hand. So it may not be a difference in dates, but it may be a difference in date. So the financing time is making sure that the buyer is able to um, finance this house. They have to give the lender all their documents that they need to go through underwriting. They are making sure that they have the closing costs that they need. Because let's just say the buyers never ask you for closing costs. They have to come up with that closing costs. A lot of times, buyers gonna ask for closing costs, even if it's a market, you know. So you could say no if you don't want to give it up. You could say no. It is not a problem of you saying no. It should not affect your deal like that. But sometimes it can affect the deal because the person maybe um, don't want to just come up with that money. Because again, like we discussed in last week, how the is regularly about 3.5% of the closing costs of the loan amount. That's how much is going towards your closing costs, because that closing cost again is for the lender to service that loan. So remember that. And the seller doesn't have to pay that. It's not something a seller has to pay. Now, if you really want this deal to get done and that's something the buyer is harping on, you could say yes or you could say no. It's good to have a backup on your deal because they may have more than one person who is interested in the house, and your agent has lined up some backup buyers. So if you really don't want that, great. But let's hope that your agent has some backup buyers who that's not something they hold, that they don't have a not paying that you're not paying that closing cost. So make sure that happens. So when you're accepting this offer, your agent will be in communication with that buyer agent a lot. There's going to be a lot of emails, a lot of discussions that need to go on because, again, that the other side is following that contract. The due diligence is over. Okay, now we're going into our finance. After the financing, now it's time to go into the appraisal. We going and communication is definitely gonna have to be with the on both sides. I told you as a buyer, you want to communicate. As a seller, you're gonna communicate as well. So that's how you gonna know how your timeline is going. And with an agent, a good seller agent, they will have all those due dates lined up for you to let you know you're in track with this sale. And after all said and done, we're gonna be heading to closing. Do not think the is over. Oh, this is a short check. No, that's not how it works. It's they have buyers will definitely get overwhelmed at get closer to. They have some buyers don't mind losing 25,000 for a house because they are so overwhelmed. Excuse me. So rule of thumb: do not count the money until you at the closing table sign and got a check in hand. It's just that's just reality of of the nature of selling your house. Everything is going smoothly, even after those days over. Again, contact and communication with the buyer's agent because you never know what may happen on that buy side. let's say you came out of the appraisal, the financial, and the due diligence, and you're not closing for another week and a half. And in between that week and a half, the buyers um, had some kind of medical expense that they was not prepared for, and they have to pay this medical expense for the loan to close for them. Now they cannot because they have to give up, and that medical expense is now about 65,000, and that's something they have to pay off. And sometimes they have lenders who don't catch those kind of things. I know it could be very frustrating, but they have some lenders do not catch those kind of things until the last minute, and it could really hurt a deal. So again, your agent will always be in contact with the buyer's agent, because those things come up, and regular communication with that other agent, they will know and have you prepared to, look, we may need to put this house back on the market because this is going on. The agent may tell the I will reach out to that agent and they still available. So I think just because a week and a half away from deal, that's not true. So we would love it to be true, but that's not always how it works. It definitely have a lot of moving factors in this in the situation. Things happen, life happens again. So we definitely want to keep our eye on a ball. Our agent stay in communication with us. We always talking to our agent. Our agent is always talking to the buyer's agent to make sure we go into a smooth um, transaction. So when we are smooth um, transaction. So when we are um, I'm sorry. So let's say we're getting closer to the closing date. So we're gonna have documents that's gonna be sent to us. The attorney gonna send us documents, and they will have information on about their wire instruction. That's very important. You want to know about the attorney's wire instruction. The attorney will definitely contact you. If you're not sure that's the attorney, please reach out to your agent. Your agent will make sure that you have the attorney's information. You contact that attorney office to make sure that's them who is sending this information. So you could, because you may have to wire something. Let's say you have to wire your HOA money for this particular property. The attorney gonna make sure the HOA, not gonna say the HOA because you need to pay that before because you need that paper from the HOA. Let's just say we're gonna just say for instance the HOA. Either way, we're gonna have to make sure it's the attorney that is reaching out to you as well. So remember, wire fraud is a big thing. People love to do scams and schemes, and we want to make sure you're protected at all costs. So definitely do yourself uh, um, a huge uh, how can I say this? Do yourself a huge favor and verify. And there's nothing wrong with verify. Not saying someone is stealing from you, someone is trying to con you or anything like that. For your peace of mind, verify. That doesn't hurt anyone when you verify. So they're gonna have documents coming your way. You're gonna have to sign. You will get before the closing date, you will get a settlement statement. They're gonna tell you all the fees that you have paid, all the fees that the buyer has paid, um, everything that goes on in that transaction is you will be receiving. Now the buyer, they're gonna have a whole list of stuff. Buyer got about a book to sign. When you go there, you will have a few papers to sign. You're basically signing over the deed, the titles, and um, then you're gonna be dispersed the money. So that's again, you could have that them funds wired to you, but again, we're gonna verify that this coming from the attorney. We don't want to say, "Oh, I gave you my information already." The attorney and the attorney look at you crazy, and you did not verify it. Is again, please, please, please communicate with your agent and make sure you verify all documents. And if you don't understand something, please go over it with your agent. So at the closing table, we're going to look at all the paperwork that we discussed in this contract. That contract is going to be forefront for that deal. We're gonna make sure the attorney gonna make sure everything is lined up how it's supposed to line up. You're gonna be signing over the deed to this buyer. You're gonna be giving the keys to this buyer. You're gonna be getting your money from this buyer. Please do not count your money before the deal closed, because things could definitely happen in between. I don't care if it's 3 days before. Things could definitely happen, and the deal doesn't close. Hopefully, nothing like that ever happens to any one of you all, but it can happen. So, so you got your check, you gave away your keys. So, what's next? You go to your next venture. Do y'all have any questions for me for this for the home selling process? I definitely appreciate y'all being here. Do you have any questions? I do want to let you know that next week is my last week doing this live, and we will be discussing the investment side of real estate and property management, and what that entitles of as far as growing your wealth and building generational wealth. So please come back next week, same time, 7 o'clock. We will be discussing the investment side and the property management side of investing into real estate. So you would know more about um, different ways how you could start investing into real estate that could help you build your wealth for future generations. And if you're here in Georgia, please contact me. I would definitely love to have a conversation with you about your house if you're looking. Yeah, 7 Eastern Standard Time. I would have say so it's 6 p.m. Saint Standard Time, but it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. Um, if you're here in Georgia, I would love to have a conversation with you. If you are looking to sell your house, to buy a house, I would love to help guide you into the right directions where you was more appropriate for you and where you need to go. But please reach out to me. My link is in the bio. You could contact me, set up a consultation with me. So that will that's all in my link in the bio. So, do we have any questions for the home selling process? Well, since we don't have any questions about the home selling process, I will end this live 15 minutes early, and I appreciate you being here. Um, Thank you, Goddess. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Um, but again, make sure you um, research the market to see when is a good time for you to sell. So you want to make sure if if the market is right for you. You're welcome. It's definitely my pleasure um, to give you the information to help. Good. Make sure your house get decluttered, and if they have any pets, if it's smoke, um, kids running around, you will have to make sure all that is um, well enough for people to come visit your house. Like they say, clean your house when company coming around. Basically, that's what selling a house is. You want to make sure your house is in top order when you're selling your house. So that's good that you're getting your house together to for you to move um to the next house that you plan on getting. So definitely do that. That that speaks volumes to a lot of buyers. I have had clients who walked away as soon as they hit the door and you had a dog smell. The house was nice on the inside, but that smell turned that buyer away. Also, I want to make sure that y'all are aware, if you and you please, please make sure that that renter is not hostile towards that they have to move, because it could really mess up your deal. Definitely mess up your deal. I have went to rentals with buyers looking at the house, and it was some crazy things that went on. They had like half naked children, people still laying in the bed, have in a bed clothes, and the seller wanted to know a deal for them. HOA is not all bullies, but I could definitely help you with that if you need any help with someone helping you find the house with that house you're interested in. If you're here in Georgia, HOA is not all bullies. HOAs, it definitely have good perks. It helps keep the most of the time that's what HOA is for, to keep the neighborhood up and keep the value in your house. So they are not bullies like that. So they do have some good HOAs as well. So they're not all bullies. They definitely could help um, keep your property value up and keep all the riffraff out of your neighborhood. So they are authorized police because for the HOA, y'all usually elect those people to be on the board and say what needs to go on. So definitely know that. So they all kind of like authorized police because y'all have elected those people to police the neighborhood. And you know, HOAs, not let's say if you maintain the groundkeeping that they your HOA dues helps to keep the groundkeeping looking nice, the clubhouse service and the lights and stuff on in your neighborhood. So HOAs is not horrible as people want to make it seem, but it is definitely more pluses to HOA than people like to give credit to. But if you hear trying to be the board of block, you can get on an HOA board and say, "Well, I would like this done," and you know, there's nothing wrong for you to join your HOA. So it won't be put it. So so yeah, that definitely would help. Yeah, that definitely would help you. If you won't have, you know, then you're gonna be the bully, and they're gonna complain about you.
Be the drill. Be the drill. It was gonna be
Hey,
uh, um,
they still was gonna be safe either way.
and like I said,
They still was gonna be safe either way.
and like I said, stop the riff. Stop the riff.
When
You def um
when
you def um neighborhood. It may have a it may have a some neighborhood they just have neighborhood
it's
vacancies here because
uh,
middle of this. I think y'all next week.